Hello and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg with episode 3 of Nioh 3. This episode, we will be spending our entire time inside the Crucible. This is my equipment. This is my level. I don't think I'm going to change anything at this point. Oh, okay, we'll see. Yeah, I try to do this off screen so I won't take up a lot of time doing it, because you find quite a bit of equipment in the game. And like a lot of these types of games, you have to pay attention to weight. Although I never noticed my character fat rolling. For part of this game,
Do
I
you
was...
think that creature was born from the Crucible? I've never seen a yokai like it before.
I was pushing the limits of my weight. Not over, but in that danger zone. So the Crucible is a very confusing part of the game.
What's the situation on the outside? Is my lord safe?
It's a separate dungeon. There are a few of them in the game. This is the first one. There's another one that we're going to come up against. Actually, there's probably quite a few in the game. I think there'll be another one in the next episode as well. The other one is a cave that we have to sort of explore. You get good loot. You continue to find loot just like you do in the regular one, in the regular areas of the game. The save points, the shrines, are the Bodhisattva shrines instead of the regular shrines that we see. And one of the things I've discovered about them is I'm assuming you can fast travel between them, but it doesn't look, whenever I've tried, it wouldn't let me.
Well,
it's easy to get lost, but
was
the
that
path...
Kusanagi's light? Now Tora spoke of purifying the Crucible, but it seems this light may guide you on your way.
Okay, kitty cat, are you going to talk the whole time? So yes, I was going to say those little lights, they will guide us to our final destination in here. There are probably 4 or 5 of the Bodhisattva shrines. So while the area is fairly self-contained, because there are lots of twists and turns, it's... I would say in real time, it probably takes a couple hours to get through here. I don't know whether summoning life corrosion. Okay, so if you get injured in here, you see the little red thing at the end of my health bar at the bottom. You can't heal fully. You can only heal up to that point. So you need to be careful about the number of times you get killed.
Mercy! Just kill me, please!
Because even going back to the shrine won't change that. In order to make that go away, you have to kill other enemies, and then it'll go away. I don't know whether summoning actually causes the enemies to be stronger or not. That doesn't open from this side. There are games where if you summon, the enemies get a buff. So it makes you question whether it's worth summoning at all. Because if you don't summon, then I think you have an easier time of it versus when you do summon. I don't know whether that's the case in this game. So I've done it a couple of times. I'll probably do it with the final boss of this area, maybe a couple of times in this area, but not the whole time.
Very well. I shall lend you my power.
The enemies inside the Crucible are stronger. Yes, your guardian spirit will fill up faster as well. So I guess it offsets the fact that enemies are stronger. it does create balance, as you can see. I probably should have picked these enemies off one at a time than just jumping down here. Crazy lag took place. I will show you a single death every time I die, so you won't think that I've made it through these areas without any fatalities. And if you fall into the lava, you will die. Now, if you're on the edge and you can hop out pretty quickly, you'll need to hop out and put out your fire. I guess you just roll unless there's some dousing item that you have in your inventory. I haven't checked, but sometimes there are. But if you don't do that, you will die. So I don't know whether there's an armor set that allows you to withstand fire more readily. There probably is. I know there's lightning resist, there's poison resist, so there may be fire resist as well. I don't know that you'd have it at this point in the game. And if you die before you get to your next Bodhisattva shrine, you'll end up back at the first one. And the enemies will respawn. I think the only ones that don't respawn are the actual field bosses. And the main bosses. Although, it's weird because you won't get to, like for instance, this area, there's only one main boss. And if you die, you'll just go back to the shrine that's outside the boss room, so you wouldn't have to work your way through the whole area. If you've worked your way through and you missed one of the shrines and you die, it will send you back to whatever the shrine was that you used. So you want to make sure you grab all the shrines that you can. And again, I haven't figured out how to fast travel between the shrines. And if you open the map, you can see them on the map, but you'll have a little message indicating that fast travel is unavailable. So a little weird. Maybe I'm doing something wrong and I haven't figured it out yet. If I am, I'll eventually figure it out. So again, these lights are your guides, but it doesn't stop the place from being confusing, right? Because you can look to see there's a light there, which means we've already passed that area. There's a light across the other way. Now, does that mean we explored the whole area? Probably not. So if you're close to where the zone expands, the little light will hit the lantern. There's the Crucible, that thing, dark onion-looking thing in the middle. And it won't clear up until you complete the Crucible. If you leave the Crucible, which you can do, you can open the map and go back to the regular part of the map. But if you exit the Crucible, you have to do it all over again. So once you're in, you might want to stay in. If you discover this place and you're underleveled, it's okay to back out, explore the areas that you haven't fully explored, level up, and then come back. It definitely would be worth doing that. I'll let you know a little secret. I did just that. So between episode 2 and episode 3, even though I got to the Crucible at the end of episode 2, I realized that I hadn't reached level 10, which is what you should be in this area. So I actually went back and completed all of the other regions that I hadn't completed to level up. I found all the Kodamas, the Jesus statues, the little flying things, the chests. There are a couple of chests I couldn't get because I don't think I have what I need to sort of break through what's protecting the chests. At least not yet. Ouch. Wow, he's not giving me any chance. So I have learned a little bit better about the burst break thingy. And by the end of this video, you'll see me using it more, especially with the final boss. And it's actually a lot easier than it was, and it might have been because I was hitting R1 instead of R2. Okay, since the game tells me that my living animal will recharge pretty quickly, I may as well use it. Because I'm nowhere near the final boss. So I figure, okay, if I'm struggling with a boss, use it. Or summon someone. So there's another drop down ladder that will end here, which I haven't gotten yet. And I will set this to auto retrieve my loot. Yeah, I think there's some way you have to work your way all the way around the top to get to that. But I don't think it impacts progression. But we will eventually unlock all of those and unlock all the doors and stuff like that. Sometimes we discover them by accident. I'll admit that. That as I'm sort of roaming around like this, I'll sometimes find things. Okay. The reason why this wasn't newly discovered is because of what I said before, and that is that I did eventually back out of this and did some exploring. So maybe I got this far in this Crucible. So I'm at level 9. This next push should get me to level 10. And this is a level 10 area, by the way. So I was way below level. I think before I went out and started doing more stuff, I was at level 6. Now I'm at level 10. There's a Sodama outside of the Crucible that will sell you stuff. We saw him on our way in. Not quite sure what I'll buy from them. We are getting pretty close to finding our real hub in the game. That's going to be post Crucible, so we'll end this video at the beginning of that new hub. So you won't actually see the hub, you'll see just outside of it, and then I'll end the video at that point. And in the next video, we'll explore the hub, pick up some more quests, unlock some more skills, and explore the region that we're in before heading into the next dungeon, which is a cave. But that's next video. This video, we're going to work our way through the Crucible. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out whether I've been this way or not. Sometimes the only way I can tell is if there's a treasure chest. These little guys are not difficult to fight. When they'll do that, they'll fall. Which always gives you an opening to really just attack them and destroy them. Now, there could be 2 or 3 of them. Right, I haven't been here because there's a chest. There could be 2 or 3 of them coming at you at a time, and that may make it tricky. There's a door over there that we need to open. I think from the other side, we could not unlock this door, but from this side we can. So basically these doors will give you shortcuts back to an area, but since the area is so confusing and twisty, I couldn't tell you where I am on the map, and the map doesn't actually help because it's just going to show you that onion looking thing. And this is an area we've been to before, right? So we're not going to show that again. So we'll get to this next statue. We are not going to go through... let's see, where are we? Yeah. So we're going to explore. There are more of those guys that we just fought. In this particular instance, there are 3 or 4 of them up here. So you want to be careful. I decided to try out the spear, which is probably a terrible room to do that in. Okay, so this is what happens when you get swarmed by them. I should switch back to my samurai form, which moves a little bit better than my ninja form, which moves better than my samurai form. I think I'm answering the question for myself as to what style I'm going to play at most of the time. The other thing is, Nioh magic is only available to the ninja. And I will be using magic. The fire in this place apparently doesn't hurt you. There's the chest they were protecting. I'm going to grab this. Secret skill, sneak thief. I guess later you'll see it when I show it. You have points that you spend in terms of these secret skills. So you are limited. So you may actually find 5 or 6 of these types of scrolls for secret skills, but you can only use 3 of them. So you want to be careful with that as well. And you can change them. I mean, you're not obligated to stick with the one once you find it. So you might decide to equip 3 lower level skills or 2 higher level skills. So it's really about managing your points. And I'm assuming that they expand as you work your way through the game. I assume that. I'm not quite sure how I got those points. Or maybe it was just finding the chests. So maybe that's how you do it. Now this area has enemies. It's not overwhelming, but you need to be careful because they will sort of jump out at you. We can't open that door from this side. So we see that guy coming ahead of us. He's like the ones we've already faced. Yeah, so we'll get to that later. There's a guy out here. Let's kite him down. The reason Would I do this is because there's another enemy outside that guy. And for little guys, they really do hit hard. These guys are just really slow and lumbering, so it's very easy to avoid them. Excuse me. There is that guy who I am feeling like I am so not ready to fight. Very intimidating looking field boss. I'm gonna grab this item, and then there's an item off here. Yeah. Grab this. So the other thing about being in the Crucible is you'll find some pretty decent armor as well as some pretty decent weapons. And I would suggest that you keep all of your Crucible weapons when you eventually get to the hub where you can sort of sell the stuff that you're not using. So the Crucible weapons are some of the best in the game. And you will find, I believe you will find weapons of every type in the Crucible if you fully explore it. You know, generally I was doing the dual wielding thing for both the samurai and the ninja. I'm trying out the spear right now. I probably won't stick to it. I don't really like the movesets. The other thing is, as the samurai, you're spending time managing your stances, whereas as the ninja, you don't have to worry about any of that. You know, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I mean, this is very early in the game, right? This is episode number 3. Okay, so this guy has lightning, and I don't have any lightning resist. I'm not really worried about elemental damage at this point. Ouch. Other than falling into the lava. I was supposed to get a critical attack, but I didn't see the red mark pop up. Usually when the enemy falls down like that, you get the prompt to do some real key damage to them, but I didn't see that. Ouch. Killed my partner. I didn't realize the guy was dead. Yeah. Okay, just when I said I didn't need elemental resist, that happened. Let's call him back. Let's try this again. We were almost there. I can't figure out whether the game wants you to be aggressive or cautious. There are certain games where being cautious will get you killed. Okay, I guess I should just keep dodging while he's doing that to make sure I don't get hit by any of these. And there are other games where you like this. I don't have the red taunt. See if this will finish him off. Yep, okay. Yeah, so there's some games, I remember when I was playing Bloodborne, I was trying to be sort of really cautious fighting some of the bosses, and the game actually wants you to be close. Like with Cleric Beast and with Father Gascoigne, you couldn't try to stand back and sort of fight them because they close the distance and do more damage to you when you're far away. But if you sort of hide right up, like when the Cleric Beast was fighting the Cleric Beast, if you're right up under the Cleric Beast's legs, you really can't do any damage to you. With Father Gascoigne in his second phase, when he turns into a larger enemy, it's a similar kind of a thing. You want to stay close to him. So I'm not sure whether the same is true in this game. I think the smarter move would be to, as much as you can, try to stay behind them. There is a skill that lets you dodge behind the enemy when the enemy attacks you. I mean, that's a useful skill. Now, whether it works with bosses or not, I don't really know. I figure it does work with regular enemies, but I don't know whether it works with bosses. Okay, my little partner's putting in some damage. I can level up if I don't lose my points. That did it. Yep, I'm going to be using tons of throwables. Alright. These little insects are all over the place in this area. They seem to be pretty good at dodging my shuriken. Okay, so you just saw the light hit that lamp there, which tells us we're heading in the right direction. We have an enemy off to the right, and we have a pathway forward. Sorry for the weird cut. I will get back to that other area in a second. This is what happens when you... just want to go over here and grab something. This is what happens when you die a lot in the games. You want to work your way back to where you were and like, okay, where was I before I died the last time? And so there are lots of weird cuts. Like I said, this was takes about 2 hours to go through the Crucible. It probably took me longer than that. It probably took me more like 2.5 hours to go through the Crucible. For two reasons. One is I got lost a couple of times. And again, the map isn't all that helpful. Maybe if you put markers down. I can't remember whether or not you can place markers inside the Crucible. I know the inability to fast travel between the Bodhisattva shrines, I think, is a bit of a problem. I'm not sure why I can't. I think the game tells you can, but you really can't. This is what we came back for. So that was what the weird cut was about. It was a part of the area that I had missed. So they're easy to get back to, and you want to unlock any of the doors because then it makes it easier to sort of head back to where you were. Okay, now we're back to where we were. This was that area we saw before we had a choice to go through the door, that door, or to go this way. I hated these enemies in the first game. They hit really hard. I guess I should look up whether or not, what the weaknesses of some of these types of these enemy types are. Because I may be wasting, ouch, wasting time using fire against this guy who's in a fiery region. I haven't looked at a guide yet. I probably will, just to make sure that that from the sort of mini open world standpoint, that I'm not missing anything. I'm not going to miss any of the main quests because the game tells you what those quests are. But some of the side content, I think, is a little bit easy to miss. The other thing is I'll need it for some crafting stuff that I haven't started doing yet. And I don't know whether this is a long game or not. Comparatively speaking, I don't think any of the Nioh games are long. And now, you know, considering my recent Crimson Desert experience, it's definitely not long. You know, I mean, that was 300 hours. Elden Ring was probably close to that as well for me. So when you compare it to stuff like that, you know, a game that's 40 or 50 hours long isn't long anymore. It used to be that they were, right? Because you compared it to maybe a game that was only 10 hours. But I think now I think that has been forever changed. There's always been long games. I mean, Red Dead Redemption was a long game. It had a super long epilogue, which was part of the issue with that game. It was a great epilogue, but it was much longer than you might have imagined because the epilogue ended up being significantly more time invested in the game. And Crimson Desert is just a long game. And if you want to do everything, to get the true ending of the game, yeah, I had a feeling he was going to one-shot me. You know, it makes it even longer. So in the Nioh games, I think in the first Nioh game I played a DLC. In the second one I did not. I don't even know whether there was a DLC for the second one. If there was, I didn't play it. The first one I did. And the DLC was so much more difficult than the main game. Again, these are fun games. And it's different from the game I just played. How is it different from Crimson Desert? It's very different from Crimson Desert. Yes, you're still using a sword. Yes, there's different combat skills that you can use. I don't think Takajua is ever going to have a horse. I could be wrong. Maybe he will. And it's even though both games have fantasy elements. Yeah, you don't want to get caught with that move because he can stun lock you and then kill you. There you go. Okay. Like this. To about this is the third one of these. Gets us probably to the halfway point. I think there are 5 of the either 4 or 5 of the Bodhisattva shrines in this area. So we can't level up, so let's move forward. There are going to be multiple enemies in this little room as soon as you go through the gate off to the right. Fight them out one at a time. I wouldn't go in there and try to fight them all. He's going to do that. It's just going to give you an opportunity for an attack. They're very slow enemies, so if you avoid their grab attack, you're okay. Okay. Do not stand on those little geysers. You will end up dying. And there are a number of them throughout this area where you're fighting. I guess you could try to kite an enemy over it on top of one of them, and it will hurt them as well, but you don't want to get caught in there. Or you don't want your animation to get caught in there if you happen to be fighting an enemy on one of those. So there's loot that you can get. I guess the other thing about this game, which I find fascinating, is in addition to being able to loot inside of the buildings, you need to check out the roofs of the buildings. So this is an obvious area where you can actually jump up. You jump up, just take a look around, because there may be loot on the roof, or there may be loot on the other side. I think that's a part of what made this little area so confusing. So while the game is, they call it semi-open world, and I guess the reason they use semi is because, I'll give you an example. Within this particular region, within the Crucible, you can only go so many places. You'll find that as you're traveling through, there are areas that are locked off that you can't get to. Clearly, the road opens up when you're able to jump across the lava pits or to climb over the roofs. But you can't go just anywhere you want. And I think the developers help in terms of content in these areas by making it not just about length in terms of area, it's also about the verticality of the area. You know, climbing up on things, going into buildings, and I'm assuming going into caves at some point in the future. So I think that's a critical sort of juncture, but it also makes for interesting exploration, and it means that you really should tick off the little boxes. If you pull up the map, at least within a region, you'll be able to see your progression through the particular region or province. I'm not quite sure what you call them in the game, but you'll be able to see whether or not you found all the chests, whether or not you found all of the kodamas, whether you found any plot kinds of things. You'll see all of those kinds of things if you just pull up the map. Now, you won't always see where they are, because you have to be close to those items for them to show up on the map in some instances. But at least you know whether or not you've really cleared an area or not. Now, in some cases, there are things you can't do yet. So, you may get a 4 out of 4 in terms of exploration, but you haven't gotten 100% of the items in an area. Some of it may be locked off depending on a skill that you will get later. Ouch. Because once you unlock your shrines, you can always come back. So, I mean, that's the good thing, is once you unlock the shrine, even if you leave the area and you go to another area, you can always come back. I'm assuming if you wanted to, you can go to a level 30 area, unlock a shrine somewhere in there, and then run out. I'm not sure why you would do that, because eventually you'll get there. Nice. I'm doing a terrible job of purifying the little yokai pools that they leave behind. It hasn't hurt me so far. I think it probably will if I'm fighting bosses that leave this stuff all over the arena. Interesting level design. We want to grab all the stuff that we can grab. More loot. Plenty of loot in this arena. And I'm not... I think there is a way to tag the things that you want to keep. And then you can get rid of everything else. Or you can just do it individually when you meet your blacksmith. You can break down items. Okay, we got one of these guys. He hits as hard as the other one. Yep. Yes, the burst break thing really is helpful once you master it. Yeah, avoid the grab. Every time he comes up, he's going to try to grab you. Nice. All right, that wasn't so bad. Yeah, I think once you master the burst thingy and some deflect mechanics that you can get and unlock, the game does get better. But the Nioh games aren't easy games. I don't think 2 is more difficult than 1, and up to this point, I'm not quite sure 3 is more difficult than 1 or 2 either. But the real bosses are difficult. And the very first boss of the game that the very first real boss we're going to face is coming up. You know, we faced a tutorial boss, but the real boss is on a whole different level. And it's okay. I mean, my feeling is you have to you end up having to basically get good. I mean, I think in some cases you just have to. There's no easy way around it, and in order to progress to the next area of the game, like for instance, the reason we're doing this Crucible is because we can't get to Hamamatsu Castle without doing it. The castle's on the other side of the Crucible. And if you look at the map, you'll see that there is no way around it. So I don't know whether the whole game is that way, where there'll be these block points where you have to go through like a significant boss person to get there. But in this first part, this early part of the game, you definitely have to go through there. There's no avoiding it. Okay, we have a different enemy type down there. We have someone behind us, but I think they're on the other side of the lava. Oops, maybe not. Come on, dude. Really? Oh, it's one of the floating head things. If you kill it, you get a buff, a fire buff. Wow. Okay. That was pretty emphatic. Okay, so now I have the buff. And he's beating my ass again. Okay. I don't know how long the buff lasts. Well, I guess you can see the little meter at the bottom. Oh my god. Okay, dude. Alright. So you got bigger balls. No problem. Okay. Alright. You got me. You got me. But I'm going to get you the next time. Let's grab our little spirit. Let's go back up here and take some... Make sure the floating head thing is nowhere near. That is a distraction. Probably didn't need to do this yet. Let's since it recharges quickly, may as well. There is a way to upgrade your guardian spirits. There we go. I obviously haven't done that. I don't think I have what's needed to upgrade them yet. And I'm not committed to one yet. The one I'm using is the one I've been using. I think at the end of the Crucible you'll get another one that's slightly stronger. So either you can switch to the slightly stronger one, or you can level up the one you have, if you have the materials for leveling it up at that point. Who's shooting at me? Oh, okay, it's the guy on the other side. Alright. Is there anything over there? No. I don't think so. Yeah, he actually managed to kill me. Unbelievable. He actually managed to snipe me and kill me. So we got our guardian spirit back, but we don't want the guys inside to swarm out here while we're fighting this guy. Okay, so he's done. And there are a couple of guys. There's the big guy and then there are a couple of little ones inside. So ideally you want to drag the big one out. I can't go in that way. I was like, is there a way for me to go in and sneak him? But I can't. And they're the ghostly ones as well. So hopefully they're not aggroed by this guy. Oh, apparently they are, because they're walking towards me. Can you get over here? Yes, you can. Yeah, I didn't mean to be fighting a whole group of them at the same time. Wasn't too bad. Not too bad. Okay, so be careful because there could be one or two more of these little guys lingering in here. They seem to pop out of nowhere. Okay, let's work our way through. There's some more items over there we're gonna grab. Okay, cool. Item here. Yeah, it's definitely worth looking around every corner in the game. Item up ahead. Another item. More items. Across here. getting close to the end of the zone. He must be hiding a chest in there somewhere. I don't think he sees me, so let's see if we can't, if he stays still long enough. The little flying creatures are annoying. They don't do major damage, but when you're fighting someone else who's chipping away at your health and then he's stinging you or hitting you with whatever venom he has, it's pretty annoying. And if there's only one of them, they're not likely to kill you. But I think it's just better to take them out than to have them annoying you during a fight. Okay, here's another lamp, and there's our little way across. Let's grab this item. Yeah, I'll probably end up spending time breaking down stuff that I'm not using off screen, only because it just takes a lot of time for me to go through, read the description for my the armor that I have to try to decide what's best for the samurai version of me as well as the ninja version, and I can spend like an hour just going through that kind of stuff, which I don't think anyone's going to find interesting, because your own individual tastes will determine how you handle that part of it. Just note that you get a ton of loot. I mean, an absolute shit ton of loot. And I'm assuming there's eventually a limit as to how much loot you can actually have. I haven't paid attention to it. I don't think I'm close to it. But it doesn't make sense to carry it around, because when you get new loot and you're trying to scroll through to see what's best, you can sort and just go with the newest, or sort to see what has the highest level stat. But you're still sorting through what might be dozens of items. My little R2 move. I'm looting the entire arena here. Yeah, I'm probably never going to use the Odachi, so those, you know, I would keep the highest level one and then break down the other ones. So that's sort of my strategy. Keep one of each. Now, if they have an elemental imbue thing on it, then I may keep more than one. But there's no reason for me to keep like a dozen of each one, especially if I'm never going to use it. Supreme Parry is probably something, sounds like it could be beneficial to me. Since parrying is not a strength of mine in any kind of game. You know, I mean, as much as I love Sekiro, oh my god, I was so terrible at parrying. I don't know how I made it through that game. Okay, so now we're going to work our way to... should be close to the boss. Yeah. Okay, just exploring. We're gonna find the final light, as well as the final shrine.
War is a paradise.
There's the final shrine right there. Let's unlock this. As you can see, Hamamatsu is a level 10 area. And we are at the level we should be at. When we started this, we were at level 9. We are moving up to level 16. Now, you didn't see me level up all those times. Remember, I told you I actually left the area and then came back. And that was what I was doing. I was leveling up, exploring areas and stuff like that, because I just felt like I was under-leveled for this area, considering that the enemies in here were much, much more difficult than what I was fighting in the real world. So these are the skills that you can have. And again, you're limited. We have 11, so we have to choose. In this particular one, we have 12. We have 8 active, 6 and 2. So you can decide which ones of these you think is going to work for you. To be honest with you, I'm not sure yet at this stage of the game which of these sort of work well. One of the things you would discover is when you're fighting the true bosses, they kill you pretty quickly the very first time you face them. So it's difficult to know whether or not any of these are actually working for you. So we're going to try fighting him by ourselves first, fighting it by ourselves first. And then we'll see what we're working with, and then we may call in some help. Let's do this. We have PaxAriaGaming's little sister. Okay, so it looks like ice and fire. What am I doing? What the hell am I doing? Now's not the time to be managing your inventory. Katsu Baba. Just shoots fire. Oh, okay, well, that lasted all of about 10 seconds. Alright, let's do it again. This time we'll do it. This isn't working out any better than the first time. So yeah, I'm trying to stay closer. Staying far away seems like it just gives him more of an opportunity to get off certain attacks. We got the burst. We finally got one of those burst pulse things on. Yeah, these things I just think it's going to damage my ki. So the idea is to try to get close, get some damage in, try to maneuver behind. Okay, well, that didn't work out. I was going to try to maneuver behind Baba over here. I wasn't able to do that. So now we're going to bring in some help. So we'll see if we can get this guy to aggro Jakatsu. Ouch. Oh, okay. All right. How many ways can I die in like 3 minutes? Okay. All right. I'm having terrible starts. Okay, so you can block that. All right, I managed to get behind him. I have a talisman that that decreases his defense. Avoid these things. Keep that on him. We can do maximum damage. I still have all of my heals. Remembering to block, which is good. Watch out for that grab attack. That will hurt. Crash out for a minute. Just keep my strategy. Ouch! And this one is just keep circling around him. So he's gonna do chip damage. Gotcha. All right, got the burst attack off on him. Okay, he got me. I was a little late with my my dodge. The grab attacks are devastating if you're not at full health. If you're at half health, you would die from that. And remember, at this point, I am actually over leveled for this part of the game, right? When I got here, I was not. But this is a level 10 area, and I'm now at level 17, so I shouldn't be struggling as much. But I need to get in there before my partner gets murdered by this guy. I can work my way behind Jakatsu. Right there. Ouch. Ouch. Heal. Alright, this is a good run. Watch out for that one. I guess that's dodgeable, but I think the game is not as forgiving, because even when I was dodging it, it caught me. So we're going to use everything at our disposal here. We're going to shoot until we use all of our bullets. So that's doing pretty decent damage, actually. Use all of our arrows. Alright. Our acolyte has died. I think we're good. We still have a heal left. Got some good damage in it. Oh. Okay. Well. Alright. I said I think we're good, but maybe not. Okay, block that. Got the pulse block on. Nice. Working out. Do I have any ninja stuff I can throw at him? Behind him, get some damage in. Watch out for that. Got him. Okay. Nice. So you guys got to see like 3 or 4 of the attempts. This probably took me like 15 times over 3 days because I started out fighting him and it was just getting my clock moving in like less than a minute. Went out, leveled up, came back, and it was still a difficult fight. But it's done. Hopefully I won't have to see him again. Or see it again. I'm not sure whether it's a him or her. And so that's Hamamatsu Castle that we were trying to get to that we couldn't get to because it was enshrouded in the Crucible crystal stuff.
I didn't think we'd meet again like this. I found you at last. The light, who traverses time to dispel the Crucible. But our meeting also portends the revival of a great evil. Let's confront it together.
Okay, that explains the whole time shift thing that's going on.
How long has it been? How long have I watched humanity's fortune sway? I have continued to wield a benevolent blade. Yet my blade and mind were nearly destroyed with the darkness's revival. The light that can sever fate. Encountering the one who wields that sword has brought me joy once more.
Oh, I get to borrow her guardian spirit.
The battle
Everybody
rages
Hanzo?
yet. Stay vigilant.
Meow! 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 Meow!
The intruding yokai have been dealt with. Lord Ieyasu,
Well done, Hanzo. I have returned.
you are unharmed.
His grandfather.
Quite superb, Takachio. You would bear the hollyhock crest well. There is much to
Not if
discuss.
my brother has anything to do with
May
it.
we speak en route?
Interesting. You can see
Takachio,
the onion-like
well done.
item is gone from the map.
Now, listen well. Hamamatsu, our base of operations for the whole Totomi region, is under siege from the north and east. Takeda Shingun leads a massive force that has swiftly surrounded our forces in several locations. Shingun. I knew of his tactical brilliance, but for yokai to be under his command, our allies are being herded to their own graves. But for a warrior, idly awaiting death is to disgrace your name for generations. And now, with you, one who has survived that hell as our trusted ally, the time to venture forth and test fate is at hand. I shall make for the keep and determine our plan of action. Lord Naotora, wish to speak with you. Go to her.
Okay, so it's unlocking several quests for us. And we have Enko. And we've learned the Gale Sprint thing. Nice. We have 2 new weapon types. That's nice. I'm not sure we'll use them. Maybe we should try them out. We have to head up to the keep. So we're at level 3 of 4 in terms of exploration. So it's the stuff that was locked off that we couldn't do before. As we can see, the far eastern side we were able to do. This side, this part in the middle here is part of a cave system that we don't have access to yet. You can see I went back and explored those other regions. This is level 24, this is level 20, level 19. So this is probably where we're going to go, and this is level 19. So we're going to go to one of the 2 level 19 areas first, after we finish with the Hamamatsu region. We did go back and do that other region, the Takeo region. And again, we'll go back if there's a quest that requires us to go back, but we did everything in those regions except things that were locked. All right, so we're
You have the power to traverse time and purify the Crucible. There is something I must share with you. Well then, shall we go?
Okay, so they all realize I can travel through time. All right, good. I was like, how am I explaining
The dark radiance
myself
that summons the
going
Crucible
back like 50 years?
is known as Crucianite. And
Okay,
those who
hold
imbue their
on.
guardian spirit with Crucianite
He's
become
just going to keep
immortal by
talking. I'm
feeding
trying to
on
see if there's any
spirit
loot
stones.
around.
If that was the same radiance you saw, that must mean... This way! Where are you going?
Yeah, okay.
We should stay together.
Well, I was
This
looking
way.
for loot.
Where are you going?
Okay, so we're
This
going to
way.
follow her.
This way.
She's going
This
to keep
way.
saying that.
Is
There's
something
loot
amiss?
to be found,
We
right?
should go. The one who scattered Crucianite
And
throughout
so we're gonna
time
get to
is
the
the source
end.
of this calamity. Destroying the Crucianite in different
We're gonna
ages should weaken their power.
we're gonna stop, and then we're gonna activate this shrine. Number 1, we can level up a few levels, a couple of levels, maybe 1. And in the next episode, we'll talk to all of the people that we're supposed to talk to, and then she's going to take us to the Eternal Realm, Eternal Rift, which will be our new hub. And we'll explore that in the next episode as well. So there's a lot we'll do in the next episode. The episodes will probably be somewhere between an hour and 2. I know that's a pretty big range, 1 to 2 hours. But it depends on what we're doing. I knew we would be able to get through the Crucible, but I wasn't sure we'd be able to get through the Crucible and then finish the next thing in an hour and a half, 2 hours. So we're going to stop here at 1 hour and 15 minutes. And then we'll explore the rest of Hamamatsu, and we'll take on a couple of the quests that we are going to get. Yeah, Enko is stronger than the ones I have. It's a fire-based. I like Heaven's Drops as. All right, we'll leave it as is for now. Anyway, thank you guys for joining me in episode number 3 of Nioh 3. I will see you in episode 4 of Nioh 3. Uploads every Tuesday and Friday. Thanks for joining me on this journey. We're only at the beginning. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe. I appreciate you joining me on this journey, and I will see you in the next episode. This is Reg with PaxAriaGaming saying thanks a lot.